it go then? I never even really know this answer. How did it go from Rip being? How did you go from like wrestling to training? Because you weren't training him in the beginning, were you? When Danny training you guys? Were you there when Danny?
Danny was training us, and Rip was like the head heel and kind of the booker. He basically told us what to do at the shows, and then it wasn't until we moved to the new school over in Louisville that Rip took over the training, because it was small. It was only like maybe 15 people in developmental, and then when we moved to Louisville, they increased the amount of people there, and it was really too much for one person, and that's when Rip, started training us over there. Which it was odd at first to be trained by somebody that you wrestled. I mean, I'd probably wrestled him 100 times by then, at least. Yeah. So sometimes he'd be telling stories. I was wrestling this guy, and he did this stupid thing, and I'm like, that was me. That was me.
That's great. I remember
there was a couple matches that we were in with Rip, and he didn't like what we did during the match, so he just left. He said, F you guys, you figure it out. And he dropped off the apron and went to the back, and it was like 3-on-2. We had to kind of figure out what we were going to do after that. And then another time, Nick grabbed Jason Lee. He used to wear trunks over his trunks. Yeah. And he was like pulling him out of the corner, and somehow he pulled his trunks off, but he still had on the shorter tights. But it kind of made a mockery of the match. And Rip looked at us and dropped off the apron and left. And I was like, I put my head down like,
Fuck.
Remember that, Rip?
No, but I know I'd hit the ring with a kendo stick a lot. I'd come in and beat the shit out of guys. But they did something real stupid.
People were going too long, or their matches just were bad, which happened. It'd be like, hey, he's going to hit the ring with the kendo stick, and it's probably the best finish that those people ever had.
Memories, Rip.
I forget about all that shit,
I just remember they always said you were from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania,
Pittsburgh, PA.
Well, what it was is, so we're almost all of us are from New Albany, Clarksville, Louisville, or Seymour. Yeah. So Danny gave me the nickname, the Iron Man.
Oh, he did? I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, he just started calling me that. And Dean Hill was like, where are you from? I said, I'm from New Albany. So he was like, well, if we can't have everybody from the same place, especially, so he was like, he came up with the Iron Man from the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If not, then what would happen is we'd go to Nashville and wrestle, and they'd say from Louisville, Kentucky, and his opponent from Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah. And they'd be like, oh, they probably drove together.
Yeah.
That's why we all had like made up places that we were from. And I was from the Steel City. Now, my Wikipedia that I have no control over still says I'm from Pittsburgh because,
does it really?
Because the internet's always right.
Yeah. Well, it was like the first thing I asked Dr. Tom about today was I took off Wikipedia and it was wrong, like the very first thing or whatever. I remember one time on Wikipedia it said Rip Rogers trained. It was like John Cena, Randy Orton, and Dre Blitz.
Yeah, Dre Blitz. That was a good rib.
Cena, Orton, and Dre Blitz.
Dre Blitz has arrived, ladies and gentlemen.
What would those other guys ever do? I know what Dre Blitz has done with his career.
One time, Rip said he made Juan Hurtado go heel, I think, because he said he hit too hard. So he switched him so he didn't have to wrestle him anymore.
I would hear Rip complaining during our matches with him and Juan on how hard Juan would tag out.
Oh, my God, he could have broke your fingers.
Juan's first match, they wanted him, I believe, to wrestle Vic the Bruiser. Because I was friends with Juan before I got into wrestling. Like, I knew him from the gym. Okay. And Danny told him he wanted him to go 5 minutes, and Juan said, I can beat him in 2 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Because he was not smartened up at all.
Oh, my God.
And he went out and separated Vic's shoulder in this first match.